Yo right guys, welcome to Gaming Console Tech. I am Ash.
And I'm Craig.
Back. See, I told you to be back, didn't I? See, I don't lie to you guys. Don't. So, pickups. Now, the last one I did was me alone. All on my lonesome. Why not? This time, I have a friend to pick up with me. Now, I'm going to let him to start off because this game we mentioned in our last video,
yeah.
Which, honestly, I didn't think it'd come up, but he found it anyway. Go on.
Hey. If you did watch the last video, I mentioned a certain N64 game, which could either be multiplayer or single player, and that would be 007 GoldenEye.
Why not?
I had to get it.
One of the better games on the.
It is.
If not a set, it's a console seller. Screw it. It's a
Exactly.
console seller. You're wrong if you think otherwise.
I got it just because it's GoldenEye. It doesn't come in the box. It costs me literally nothing. Can't go wrong with that. But I'm going to be playing it tonight.
There we are.
Having fun.
So, my turn. Now, I am a big fan of this series. That's all I'm going to say. Simply for the fact, because the series shouldn't work together. It just shouldn't. Now, how it does is beyond me, but there's nothing else I can say. This series shouldn't work. It's that simple. I don't know what else to say. Daffy Duck mixed with what essentially is Final Fantasy. So yeah, there you go. Recorded. I still need the first one to that as well, which was 358/2, which I can't find, and when I do, it's expensive. So there you go. That's mine. So what's your next one?
My next one is an inspiration of my fellow friend here. One of his favourite games, not the favourite, but one of them, and that is
Number 3 is my favourite.
Sonic 2.
Number 3 is my favourite.
True. Once again, great game, great console, and just because it cost me about £1.50 that, so I'm glad to actually get that boxed.
Wait till he gets some more basically rarer games. That's going to be a fun one. Next one for me is one which is a bit obscure, right? Not because it's particularly rare, but because it was actually a release title that came with the original DS if you bought it as a pre-order, which I did. Big bulky grey thing. I'll stick a photo up here somewhere. But big bulky grey thing, and honestly, it didn't look pretty compared to like the DS Lite and stuff.
If you had about 20 of them, you could build a house.
More than likely, yes. Just fold them out, clip them all together, you'd be ready.
Exactly.
Igloo, there you go. And that game is what essentially is a demo, and that is Metroid Prime Hunters. Now, it is very, very short. It's a demo, that's it. But I actually think that this game looks better than the actual Prime Hunters. Now, the reason for that, I can tell you now, is because of the amount of data that this takes up compared to the original game. And what Nintendo stated when they released this, which was actually quite interesting, right, is I looked up a tabloid not so long back on this particular game, and the game wasn't actually meant to be a full release. And what they ended up doing was they tested this in beta before the DS got released, and they released this as a demo. And let's just say that the whole thing kind of escalated and people wanted the game. People wanted to see the power of the DS, and eventually they did in the form of the full game of this. And honestly, I'm proud to own that. It is a rare game, and I just like having the obscure, so there you go, that's mine. Next one for you, man.
The next game, we also mentioned in the last video.
We did.
It's yet again one of your favourites, not the favourite,
No.
but one of them.
I'm going to say this, my favourite of this particular series was on the Super Nintendo because it was the first one I played, and it's kind of hold a special place in my heart personally. It does. It blew me away back then, and it still does now, even though it's that simple.
Yes, and that would be Super Bomberman R, on Switch.
Mistakes are good. It's fine.
Yeah, mistakes are very good. once again, very good game. It's still got the retro feel to it with new age graphics.
Oh yes.
You've still got all the old abilities as well as some new.
You can't have Mega Man without the old style, I don't think.
No.
It wouldn't work.
But with this here, it's the same game with a twist. You've still got the same 8 levels, but then you have 2 boss levels.
I'm just going to state something now. They did try kind of bringing this up-to-date Bomberman for the Xbox, didn't they?
They did,
Right.
but they originally started it out on the, I think it was the PlayStation with Bomberman World.
Yes.
They created that one where you actually could choose between retro and new age.
Yeah.
And then from there, Bomberman's evolved onto different consoles. They've released a Bomberman game on the 360, which absolutely sucked.
I'll put a picture here of the Bomberman that was in that game. I swear. Don't go near it. It's not worth your time, and it will probably kill your brain cells. It's that simple.
Brain cells, it will absorb your soul. That's all I'm saying. It's one of the worst games out of a lot of them. But this one, they brought it back, and I do have to say, Konami have actually done a really good job since taking over Hudson.
Oh yes.
So
there you
back
go.
over to you.
Aye. So my next one is one that I went after for ages, mainly because 1, I like the game, and 2, it literally it was my first game on the Wii in this series. Right, I kind of missed Twilight Princess because of certain reasons and pricing, but I found this for mine, which is, there we go. Son of a bitch. But yeah, this one, which, believe it or not, is actually the orchestral CD version of it as well, which should have gone for somewhere around about 30, I believe, pre-owned. I ended up getting it for around about 12. Mainly because I got lucky on eBay and whatever else. I ended up buying that, and that's what I got. So, yes, and I will play it. I will get around to play it. But at the moment, I'm currently playing Wind Waker HD for my Wii U, where Zelda is. And not forgetting that I'm still halfway through Ocarina of Time as well.
The only thing is, that game where you're playing at the moment with Wind Waker HD, half of it is already done for you.
Yes, pretty much, which is fun.
It sucks.
Yeah, but go for it. What's your next?
Right. The next one is a part of a series of games released on the Xbox originally, but then brought out onto the PlayStation 3 and then the PlayStation 4. It's one of my favourite sandbox games of all times, and you probably know them for being the Third Street Saints. It is initially a Saints Row game, but it's known as Agents of Mayhem.
See, I've not played this yet. So
it's a really good game. You've got 3 of the main characters from Saints Row. You've got Johnny Gat, who's in the first 4. You've got Oleg, who's in Saints Row 3 and partially in Saints Row 4. And you've also got Pierce Washington from Saints Row 2 onwards. They're all playable characters, and it also feeds you a lot into the backstory. And they actually do mention both Steelport and Stillwater.
Fair enough.
So yeah, it's a really good game. I would suggest playing it, and it is literally single player only, not available online. But at the moment, if you live in the UK, you can buy it at Asda for £12.
There we go.
Brand new, with DLC.
Bit of buying information for you there as well. We are doing justice. Why the hell not? So, my next one is.
Well, you might as well do the next 2 together.
Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. The thing is, again, Disney doesn't bode well with me at the best of times. Mainly because they seem to be buying up everything, including that. Yeah, that. Yeah, anyway, we'll forget about that.
This is the good one.
Including that is the good one. I will
This is the good one.
They're the good ones. Yes, alright. I'll let you off. That being said, Disney still do the odd good game every so often, and I'm not including Disney Infinity in this because that was literally a money grab, just like Skylanders was. Let's not go there. I can prove that because I've got figures up there which haven't been used. Yeah. So the 2 games in question, Epic Mickey. Now, you might be looking at me and wondering why. Play them. That's all I'm saying. Play these games because I'm going to tell you now that these are literally diamonds in the rough That's the only way I can put it. They are really, really good games. And what makes it even better is that a lot of Wii games, even me and you discussed this years ago about the Wii being essential waggle happy. That's what it was.
It was.
Right? And everybody wanted waggle crap in there, and it didn't work. Sonic can vouch for that because he took a very big hit on it.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic and the Black Knight.
Colours
Wasn't too bad.
Didn't
to
like
be
it.
fair. To be fair, it wasn't as bad as Secret Ring and Black Knight, whereas Sonic Colors kind of used it in a more sparing way when you needed to home an attack at something, which could be crap at times, but it did have its issues at times as well.
Yeah.
And honestly, that game can prove exactly what the Wii remote could actually do. And honestly, that is your best idea for it. So yeah, there you go. Play them. Honestly, you'll love it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
We will do. Right, my final one for today is a game that both of us have played, enjoyed, but wished it was longer.
Just so you know, I have it for the other console.
And that would be Sonic Forces.
There we go. Discuss the issues first, because we need to do that.
Well,
There is a lot of issues.
the one you explained earlier
Yes.
about the character choices
Yes.
is if you go through the Sonic stages once you completed them as Super Sonic, as soon as you hit 50 rings, you automatically transform into Super Sonic, which is the biggest ball ache ever because you don't have a choice.
You don't have... In Generations, it was a different thing, because the triangle button on the PS4 was your activation, but you could collect more than 50 rings before you changed into Super Sonic.
Mm-hmm.
This one, 50 rings, it does it automatically. That's how that works.
Yeah.
So that's my issue. That's one of my issues with it. I do have some others, by the way. Let's just get that straight. But go on.
Yeah.
What else?
I'll name a good thing. You've got two generations of Sonic in there. You've got Sonic Retro, as in from the original Sonic franchise, and you've also got the New Age Sonic after generation sort of thing. You get to play as both characters in different levels, which is absolutely fantastic. And the downside to this now is, well, there's an upside and a downside to what I'm going to say now. The upside is you can create your own character. You can actually create whoever you want out of certain sets, but you can barely play levels with him. There are only set levels you can actually play as your character, which is the one thing that really peeved me off.
There are a few where you play as the character that you create and Sonic, and those bits, honestly, I do actually like those bits.
Yeah, but the issue is for me, right, as well.
The one with them, it's just...
Well, you've got on there, right, you've got the double boost,
Yeah.
right, which allows you and Sonic to run at the same speed. Is how on earth can you keep up with Sonic, who is the fastest animal alive?
Yeah, there is that, yeah.
There's,
This has been discussed before on forums, I remember.
Well, so there's a big flaw in Sega's logic, but it is a good game, but there are flaws.
And I'm going to mention one flaw, which, as a retro fan of Sonic, I pick this up quite a lot, and it annoys me. My issue with classic Sonic in this game is not a bad character, by any means. Right? He's always been quiet, but the thing is, there's two things that bothered me. One was the control of him, because obviously it's on a different engine, they've had to kind of do that, and I understand that, but he controls like a dog. That's all I can say.
Let's
But
just say
that's down to the engine of the game. There's nothing they could have done about that.
Yeah, but there is one thing I actually worked out on there is if you go to jump over the spikes, he's got lead boots as soon as you hit above the spikes.
Yeah.
So he just drops on them.
Yes.
It's a
And
pain in
then-
the backside.
And then you've also got the fact of there is literally only one hint of classic Sonic actually being in this game, and that's when he shows up. I've said this before.
He doesn't
on my
speak.
review. No, I've said this on my video before for my review of Sonic Forces. If you haven't watched it, I'll link it below. Go back and watch it. But this issue floors me every time I talk about it, and that's the fact that there is one hint. And that one hint is only there if you have completed Sonic Mania with every Chaos Emerald, and you get to the end of the game and you do the bonus boss, which I did. Now, I'm going to warn you now, spoiler. If you've not played Sonic Mania, I'm sorry, you're going to have to stop the video now if you don't want to be spoiled. But, 1, 2, 3. Now, the fact of the matter is, if you've completed it, you'll know that Sonic goes through this purple portal. Yeah? That purple portal he goes through, he does the exact same pause at the end of that game as he does for the trailer for Sonic Forces. Right? The only other hint that you get, other than that, is the fact that he shows up in the Mania soundtrack as he zooms out the portal in Forces and meets Tails, is the soundtrack behind it. And that's literally, that's it. It doesn't explain anything else.
So
There's no real reason.
If you're playing Sonic Forces and you find out that you're jumping the old school Sonic and he feels like he's got lead boots, blame Christian Whitehead.
Yes. There you go. To be fair, if they hadn't have brought Sonic Mania out, I think people might have thought different and they wouldn't have bothered so much. But because they got Sonic Mania in the same year,
yeah, exactly.
They did literally go, you know, this is perfect Sonic, and then here you go, there's Dog Sonic.
Yeah. It's your fault, Christian.
Hey, that's coming from him. So right now, my last pickup is one I've had for ages, and honestly, it's been in a cupboard for quite some time. Now, all I'm gonna say is that this game I haven't played, mainly because it's an online game and I've just not had the time. In order to play this, I have to put loads of time into it.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, it's a game series that I love. It's a game series that my wife loves, as you well know.
Yes.
And honestly, we own the majority of these games in some form, whether it be digital, physical, or whatever. The game in question is A Realm Reborn, Final Fantasy XIV. Now, this one, as you probably guessed, everyone complains about big box games for PC, and there's not that many of them for consoles and things like that. There are a few, this being one of the more recent. The reason I picked this up is because, one, of the price. I bought it from his place, and I think it cost me about £5.
Dog cheap.
Right, so I wasn't complaining. What made it even better though is, I'm gonna unbox this thing for you real quick, is obviously it's a hard box, framed box as well, so it's all properly done. And can you tell he's a Zelda fan?
That was...
And that is what you get in it, essentially. Basic art cards, the game, and then this thing, which is a pedometer, may I just say. And it's weird. Why would you get a pedometer with Final Fantasy? But yeah, that's basically it, with a barcode on the back. But you also get, which intrigues me, is... Pop that there a minute.
It's not a pedometer.
Is it not? I thought it was.
Nope. When you log into your online profile, it requires a 6-digit code. Every time you press the button, the code will reset to a new code.
But essentially, what I bought this for is this thing. Now, if you know me, which I'm guessing all of you do by now, I love art books, where games are concerned. Especially Final Fantasy art books, because the level of detail and the level of art that's actually in them is beyond anything I've ever seen, honestly. They try their best with everything. And just to prove my point, you've got landscapes on this page which just look so damn detailed, and then you've got character detail as well. Now that's only part of it, and basically that's basically simple drawing for what else is in here. Whereas detail is concerned, let's take a look at that one, for instance. I mean, Final Fantasy does have a level of detail that no other game does, but for them to give you something with all that artwork in it, it's just, I found that completely amazing.
Yep.
Honestly. And it's beautifully presented, to be fair, by all accounts.
Well, so the majority, if you look at most games with the art books anyway, they always come in a paperback version.
Yeah.
This is actually full hardback with a dust cover.
Yes. And it's beautiful, so grab that off you, stick that back in there. And honestly, to get it for $4.99 was just the icing on the damn cake, to be honest.
I sold it.
Yes, he did. And honestly, I'm so pleased to have that. It's unreal, especially in my collection where I've not really got loads, but I've got the odd few oddities and perfect bits and pieces. So yeah, I think we're all sorted, aren't we?
Yeah.
So there it is, guys. You've got a fair few stuff. Honestly, out of all that, I would probably recommend, if you can find it, especially in the US, because I believe it's more accessible in the US as well. There's more of them, and that would be the demo version of that, just to give it a try. If you can find it for the right price, I would. That and Epic Mickey. So
yeah, and all I'm going to say is that if you do like your retro as well as new age, then Bomberman R is the game for you.
So there you go, guys. That's been everything. So in the meantime, guys, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, and we shall see you in the next video. In the meantime, guys, happy gaming.
Have a good one.